anything that I've ever said or done to roast people, I've done it out of retaliation and rebuttal. Like I said, yeah, and I apologize to Snake Eyes but I didn't even roast Snake Eyes. I was just talking about his baldness and talking shit, but I apologize to Snake Eyes. I felt like I was completely out of context for that because we were just playing a video game. And if you remember the tweet, if you go drag down my timeline, you could see that. I even shot him a DM too on top of the public tweet. But most of the time when I do things, I don't like it when people try to take me as a joke or troll me. If you do that, you're in the fire line of being roasted. Yeah, I feel like the only unlawful thing I've ever done was laugh at the dude for blowing his dome off. That's about it. Outside of that, I mean, I probably could have just turned off my mic and came and started dying. I thought it was funny, right? Because it is my prerogative. But I chose to do it on cam. So, I mean, outside of that, I don't think I did anything. I know I didn't do anything to people. Anytime I've said some, those stupid ass, like I said, those stupid ass, how did the beef between me and Viscon start? Because, alright, I'm not gonna front, like, I started the shit. Alright, so initially how that whole shit started is, so I was playing Xbox Live on a fucking, those stupid ass little router pieces that used to be on Xbox? The wireless router pieces. You're not supposed to be playing fighting games with a wireless router piece. Okay. So I wanted to experiment and play Street Fighter 4 on the big TV downstairs. So I was playing, addressing the internets. Usually I do full body cam. So basically, I matched up with Viscon in Street Fighter 4. Since that niggas care so much, I matched up with Viscon in Street Fighter 4. And he barely pulled off a victory. I forgot who was using Yun, Yang. I think he might have been using Yun. And he barely beat me and I was dead. So immediately I went to Twitter and just called him a has-been and said he was garbage, and we started going back and forth, and the nigga was losing he was losing the verbal war, so he said, you're just a black version of such and such. So, I mean, if he's called me a black version of something now, I just chuckled it off. But back then, I was a little bit more hot-headed, cognitive wasn't 100% in effect. So once he called me a black version of something, now, Alex Valle hit me up like, yo, could we get you and Viscon on a grudge match? He's from San Diego, where you guys are both SoCal natives. Let's get it. I was like, all right, cool. So when we got there, I know people try to label it as a bully. I said, basically say all that shit you was talking on the internet. I'm a black DSP, right? I'm a black this, black that, right? Now imagine if Donald Trump right now called somebody a black something, a black version of something. Would he be able to get away with it? If Joe Biden said to somebody, you're a black something, could any public figure get away with saying something to somebody black, you're a black version of something? Just keep it 100% factual. Even Kobe Covington has not called somebody a black version of anything. We're talking about public figures, nigga. Let a public figure that's not black say something to somebody that's black and be caught saying it, you're a black version of something. You think that you're not going to lose all your endorsements or anything? Exactly. What I'm saying now. So, exactly. You'd be canceled within a quickness. You can't say shit like that. So, the whole reason why I got in that nigga's face is because I felt like, I was like, all right, well, call me that same shit you was calling me on the internet. You call me a black whatever, right? So, He didn't say it in person, of course, because he was a bitch. And then, basically, that's why I got in his face. I didn't get in his face because I thought I could whoop his ass or something like that. I just got in his face because he called me a black something. And I just felt like, if we're roasting each other, let's keep it in context. Like, do I be roasting niggas and calling them all types of coons, spooks, monkeys, and all that? Yeah, because I'm black and I could say whatever I want to niggas because I'm a black fucking man and I'm a black person. So I could use black clowns to roast. But if me and, let's just say this, if me and a Hispanic person was arguing, right? We were both clowning each other's shoes. We're in person, we're clowning each other's shoes. And I say, well, nigga, that's why your whole diet is just bean dip. You know, like, I start taking it, you know, I could have kept it on your shoes. But as soon as I start throwing out racial jokes, when we're supposed to be keeping it in context, like we were talking about gaming. I said I told Viscon he was trash at gaming, he was a has-been at gaming, everything was in gaming. So where the fuck did the black version of anything come from? Because you was losing the roast war, that's why. Now, when I'm matched up with fucking, you know, with the Mexican flags and shit in Street Fighter, it's just funny to do that shit, like, because, I still believe all Mexicans are laggy in Street Fighter 5, and y'all niggas are trash and nervous at the game. Which is why, like I say, Mexicans are not hard workers when it comes to Street Fighter 5. Y'all all play Akuma and cheap-ass characters. But we just talking about that type of bullshit. But as far as, like, if we're roasting each other back and forth on Twitter, and, you're losing me roasting your video game shit, and then I just bring up somebody roasting the fuck out of me. LTG, all you do is take L's, blah, blah, blah. You just a loser. I see nothing but videos with you losing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, all right. You chop suey mother. You know, even though I did say that shit on stream because it was just funny. But, like, if we're having, like, a verbal ward where you say something about me and I say something about you and I take it racial, you lost. I don't have nothing personal against online players because it's a video game. I can't dislike somebody through a video game. That's not even ethical. That's stupidity. Because I lost to Snake Eyes using Kage, you think I'm gonna see him in person like, man, Snake Eyes a bitch. That nigga beat me with Kage. What? Like, what? That's why I had to apologize to that nigga because I was like, yo, I really, like, went off on this dude because he beat me with a Shoto character. Like, that's not even necessary. Like, imagine me, like, losing to, like, who else? Imagine me, like, losing to Punk's Kieran, right? The nigga let's just say he bodied me in a video game, or I've lost to Punk on stream before when he was using Seth. Imagine I just lose to Seth, and I see Punk in person like, you bitch ass nigga, you gonna sit over here and think you could just low forward me all day? You's a bitch, you play with a bitch ass character. Like, that means I got actual beef with you because you beat me with a character in a video game. No, nigga, I don't have no beef with nobody who's beat me in a video game. Do I hate Bushin? No. Do I think he's corny with his character? Yes. Do I think that Punk uses cheap-ass Karen and Seth? Yes. But do I hate these niggas for doing it IRL? Absolutely not.